Hi guys, thanks for joining me again. If you're new to my channel, I'm Anne, and on my channel I review foreign international content. Today I'm back to review this movie, Korean drama on Netflix called The Uprising, and wow, what an excellent film. First of all, if you like action, oh, it has tons of it. Now, I like action with a good story, and it has both. And oh, the show is wonderful. I mean, don't get me wrong. First of all, it does have themes of slavery. So if you're easily triggered by that, just a warning. I know that stuff is hard. I should know. My ancestors went through that. But what we find is Korea, and there's a sort of classism. They've got people who are slaves, and the ones that they serve, they're all Koreans, but they've turned some to be slaves. And he, unfortunately, grows up as not being one, but then his mom ends up being sold, so then he's forced into becoming a slave. And by the way, I've not seen this actor before, so I'm not sure who he is. There's a lot of other many Korean actors that we've seen in other Korean shows, but this is the first time I'm seeing him, and he was fantastic. So let's just say he's sold and taken to be in the palace, and they're trying to raise, I think he's the son of the general. He has to learn how to fight and learn all kinds of things like that, because in the future he's gonna be protecting the king. But what's crazy is that every single time he, the son, who's being played by Yi Jong, every single time he doesn't get it right, he gets to be whipped. His name is Chio Young in the show. And so he's watching it and being like, my God, kid, figure it out, because the sooner you figure it out, the sooner this guy's gonna stop whipping me, right? So eventually he's like, look, at night he was like, I'll teach you so that I can stop getting hit and you can finally learn. And that's how their friendship started. Obviously he's a slave and he's up here, but they became friends. And really, so the show really, when you think about it, although there's a lot of violence, and I'm talking a lot of violence, we're talking heads are flying, fingers are flying, arms are being cut. If you love sword fighting, oh, they have some good ones, especially when he goes against the Japanese, because Japanese now come and attack Korea. Like, they needed more issues on top of it. But when he's fighting with that Japanese, I think he's an army guy or whatever, that choreography of the sword fights, oh, that is so good. That is so good. So if you love that stuff, that would be great. But at the end of the day, it's about friendship, because they ended up watching out for each other. But then there's a misunderstanding. What happens is the slaves have an uprising, and his friends think Yu Jong thought that he was behind it because he was a slave. And he had told him, if I ever get a chance, I'm going to destroy all of you, because you made me a promise that after I did this or I did this, because you have to keep watching. I don't want to give everything away. He does help him in some things. And it was like, if you do this for me, then you get your papers and you're no longer a slave. But they don't keep their word. So he's gotten mad. He keeps running away. They find him, bring him back. He runs away. They bring him back. And he says, if I ever get a chance, I would, kill all of you. And so when this uprising happens, he thought that he's the one who started it, but it wasn't. You have to watch, once again, I don't want to make a spoiler, and see where he was when the uprising happened. So his friend, who goes away with the king, because they all run away because they heard the Japanese are coming, when he heard it, that the slaves did an uprising, he automatically thought of his friend. And they had made a pact, and they would wear this red scarf, thing around their hand, to show that they were friends, to cover up the scars that they had. And at that point, he is mad, because he also finds out that his wife and son got killed in that fire. You have to watch why. The wife of Yi Jong had issues. You have to watch why. But so in the end of it all, it's a story about friendship. They have a king. And by the way, I've seen that actor before too. He's very good. They have a king who's so vain. His people are starving outside, all kinds of stuff like that. And all he's worried about is, when are we going to build a palace? When are we going to build a palace? And he's been talking about 600 rooms is not enough. We need like 6,000. I'm like, how so out of touch are you? And by the way it ended, I was like, I want to see if they could do another follow-up, because there's still more that they could use to like run, because I want to see more. So now what becomes? Does the king still survive? What becomes? Because he's still alive, what becomes of the Korean kingdom? That'll be interesting to see. But I had to jump on here and say, watch Uprising. It is very well done. I love historical dramas. So between the costuming, which by the way, they ended up calling him the blue god. When he would show up, people they knew, they were like, oh, watch out, okay? Because he was really good at his sword. I mean, he could be attacked by a lot of people, but he can take them down. So they started calling him a god, the blue god. So that was interesting, but it's really well done. It's about 2 hours long. Really, really fantastic. Excellent cast. The costuming to all the scenes, all that stuff, it was really, really well done. But at the end of it all, although there's a lot of gore with the fighting and all that stuff, it's about a friendship. It's about friendship, which was very, very interesting. Anyway, have you seen it? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comment section. As usual, I'm always glad that you joined me. And by the way, I started watching Victoria's Business. Oh, that's hilarious. If it continues the way it is, I'll come next week and we can start reviewing that one. But that is hilarious. Made me laugh so hard. That is going to be funny. But anyway, once again, thank you so much for joining me. Give me a like, subscribe. It does help support my channel. And I'll see you next time. Deuces.